she was the queen of the steamy novel, selling more than 11 million books in total in the UK alone. But despite the high praise she had for the show Rivals, which is currently on its second series, it seems there was one element that Dame Jilly Cooper wasn't particularly happy about. She told the producing team behind the series to stop making her macho men to keep crying. So we're asking, do you think it's important for men to appear macho, Colin, or do you like a man who can shed a tear?
Well, do you know what? There's nothing that breaks my heart more than when I see a man cry. It really,
More than
really...
seeing a woman cry?
Yeah. We can cry at the drop of a hat if we need to. But men crying, and especially if they are perceived to be these big macho men, and then you just see them crying over whatever. It really, and I think it's really important that they feel comfortable and safe enough to do that and not be judged. And
but
I love
if they
that.
carry on crying,
but
darling.
I did go out with someone once who cried more than any woman I've ever met in my life. Like he'd stub his toe and cry.
And he didn't last long.
No, I got a bit like, come on now, stop. So that was the other extreme.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... I don't know. I don't see them as less macho if something has upset them or they cry or, it's, you know, they feel strongly about something.
It all started with David Beckham, didn't it?
What, the crying?
Sobbing, yeah. It was a kind of marketing opportunity. Now he's so soft and soggy. I can't stand a soggy man, honestly. I love Rivals. I love it to pieces. And I love the fact that all the macho men in it are all behaving badly and bonking and being larger than life. And then Danny Dyer, who before he was cast in Rivals...
was the machoest
man of all time. He's got feelings. He's got feelings.
No, do you not like that?
I love Danny Dyer in this.
Yeah.
So you don't mind him showing a soft side in this?
But, well, it's a kind of joke show in so many ways because it's like a satire. And I worked through the 80s with loads of macho men and it's not a very pleasant experience.
No, I grew up amongst Irish macho men and believe me, they were macho. And I treated my dad and never saw my dad cry.
I didn't.
But, you know, a lot of that, I think, was after the war. You know, there was an element of not talking about it very much and... you know, stiff upper lip, and men weren't allowed to cry. But when I look back, it's really quite funny because my Uncle Tom used to vacuum the house.
Well, you know what that means, Gloria.
He's a sissy for doing that. And men then would not even push a pram out with a baby. Now, I love it because...
that's changed.
Well,
thank goodness that's changed.
And I love it the way sort of men are very involved. We weren't allowed to have men at the birth of our babies. Yeah. Men are there from the very beginning. I love that. With long-lost family, I love it when members of my family tear up and get very, very soft. And I think that's real television. Yeah.
But don't you think they're getting a bit too soggy now?
No,
they're in touch with their feelings all the time, more than we are.
I don't want those hard macho men around all the time. No, I like people with feelings.
I think I don't agree with the kind of, you know, real men don't cry nonsense. And, you know, when Jack was growing up, I very much never said to him if he was upset, now, come on, pull yourself together, be a man. Never, never, never. I'm a bit like you that I like to see a man who's in touch with his feelings, has empathetic, you know, can shed a tear and not be embarrassed. But if it was a constant crier...
Constant cry, yeah.
Constant sniffler.
A sniffler. I mean, my dad was like glorious. My dad he came back from the war in Burma and never displayed any emotion, and now we'd probably say it as post-traumatic stress. Consequently, in our house, it was like an emotion-free zone. And, yeah, the idea of my dad touching a vacuum cleaner of any description was like unheard of. And he didn't display any emotion, and I suppose that has passed itself on to me. And when men...
Did it?
Do you know what?
Never know.
I sit here week in, week out and tolerate abuse, and funnily enough, I don't tear up. Lucky.
I do after the show.
No, actually, I'm joking. I think it is good that men are in touch with their feelings. Just rein it in a bit, though.
And also able to talk about things. Yeah. Because, you know, again,
mental
back in
health
the day,
issues,
I don't think my mum and dad ever really, you know, I've never heard them anyway, so talking about big issues, you know, within the family, or never ever talked, of course, about sexual things, or never taught you about sexual things. Nothing. So I like the idea that people can have feelings, discuss it, be really proud of their family, wheel that pram,
Yeah,
wheel that
wheel that
vacuum
pram.
cleaner.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If we were in the house together and someone broke in,
Yeah.
and he was going, "I'm not going, you go," I'd be like, "No, I can't be with you."
You're out.